Isaac Morrison had precisely $43 in his checking account when he spotted the woman standing beside her broken-down Mercedes in the grocery store parking lot at 7 in the morning. And despite being late to drop his daughter at school, he pulled his battered Ford pickup truck alongside her anyway. The woman looked up as he rolled down his window, her business suit perfectly pressed despite the early hour, her dark hair pulled back in a sleek ponytail. She held jumper cables in her hands like someone who had never used them before, staring at them with an expression somewhere between confusion and determination. "Need some help," Isaac called out, already putting his truck in park. She looked relieved immediately. "I would really appreciate that. My battery died, and I have a meeting in 45 minutes across town." Isaac glanced in his rearview mirror at his 7-year-old daughter, Emma, who was buckled in the back seat with her pink backpack beside her. "You okay if we help this lady real quick, sweetheart?" Emma nodded enthusiastically. "We should always help people, Daddy. That is what you tell me." He smiled at her in the mirror before climbing out of his truck. The morning air was crisp, typical for October in Portland, and he could see his breath as he approached the Mercedes. The woman handed him the jumper cables gratefully. "I am Jennifer Dawson," she said, extending her hand after he took the cables. "And I am completely useless with cars, apparently." "Isaac Morrison," he replied, shaking her hand. Her grip was firm, confident, and her skin was soft in a way that made it clear she had never worked with her hands the way he did. "And do not worry about it. Happens to everyone. When was the last time you drove this thing?" Jennifer thought for a moment. "Maybe 3 weeks. I usually have my driver, but he is out sick today, so I thought I would drive myself." Isaac tried not to react to the phrase, "my driver," but he must have shown something on his face because Jennifer quickly added, "That sounds incredibly pretentious, does it not?" "Little bit," Isaac admitted with a grin, popping open her hood. "But hey, at least you are honest about it." He examined her battery connections, noting the corrosion built up around the terminals. "This is your problem right here. Battery connections are corroded. Even if we jump it, you should get this cleaned up properly or it will happen again." "Can you do that?" Jennifer asked, pulling out her phone. "I will pay you whatever your rate is." Isaac shook his head as he positioned his truck closer to hers. "I am not a mechanic, I work construction. But I can clean it up for you after we get it started. I have a wire brush in my toolbox. You would do that?" "Sure, it will only take a few minutes." He glanced back at his truck where Emma was watching through the window. "I just need to get my daughter to school first." Jennifer followed his gaze and waved at Emma, who waved back enthusiastically. "What grade is she in?" "2nd grade, and she is way too excited about it every single day." Isaac connected the cables to his battery first, then carefully attached them to Jennifer's corroded terminals. "All right, let me start mine up and let it run for a minute." As his truck rumbled to life, Jennifer leaned against her Mercedes, watching him with an expression he could not quite read. She was beautiful, he realized, probably in her early 30s like him, with sharp, intelligent eyes and a mouth that seemed used to smiling despite the stress of her current situation. "You do this often?" she asked. "Rescue stranded people in parking lots." "When I can," Isaac said. "Someone helped me out once when Emma was a baby and my truck died outside a pharmacy at midnight. She had an ear infection, I had no money for a tow, and this guy spent an hour helping me get it running again. Figure I owe it to the universe to pay that forward." Jennifer studied him with increased interest. "That is a good philosophy." "Try it now," Isaac said, gesturing to her driver's seat. Jennifer slid behind the wheel and turned the key. The Mercedes coughed once, then roared to life. She let out a delighted laugh. "You are a miracle worker." Isaac carefully disconnected the cables, winding them up. "Not really. Like I said, you need to get those terminals cleaned or this will keep happening. You got a few minutes for me to do that. I promise it will not take long." Jennifer checked her watch, then looked at Emma in the truck. "I do not want to make your daughter late for school. School does not start for another 20 minutes. We will be fine." Isaac retrieved his wire brush and a bottle of water from his toolbox. As he worked on cleaning the battery terminals, Jennifer stood beside him, and he was acutely aware of how close she was, how she smelled like expensive perfume, how her presence made him nervous in a way he had not felt since his ex-wife left 3 years ago. "So, what do you do?" he asked, trying to make conversation as he scrubbed at the corrosion. "Besides have drivers and fancy cars," Jennifer laughed. "I run a company, technology sector. We do cloud-based solutions for healthcare systems." Isaac had no idea what most of those words meant in that context, but he nodded anyway. "Sounds important." "It is, actually. We help hospitals coordinate patient care more efficiently. It saves lives sometimes." She paused. "What about you? You said construction." "Framing carpenter." "I build the skeletons of houses, basically. Not as impressive as saving lives. You build homes where people will raise their families and make memories," Jennifer said thoughtfully. "That sounds pretty important to me." Isaac glanced up at her, surprised by the sincerity in her voice. "Never thought about it like that." He finished cleaning the terminals and carefully reconnected everything. "There. That should hold for a while, but seriously, take it to a mechanic and have them check the battery itself. It might need replacing." Jennifer pulled out her phone again. "Let me pay you. What do I owe you?" "Nothing," Isaac said, wiping his hands on a rag. "Just help someone else out when you get the chance." "I cannot just take your time and expertise for nothing," Jennifer protested. "You have a daughter to take care of." Something about the way she said it, the assumption in her voice, made Isaac bristle slightly. "I take care of my daughter just fine, thanks, and I do not need payment for doing someone a decent turn." Jennifer's eyes widened. "I did not mean it like that." "I just meant, I know what you meant," Isaac said, his voice softer. "Sorry, I am a little sensitive about that stuff. Emma's mom is not in the picture and people like to make assumptions." "I really did not mean to offend you," Jennifer said quietly. "And for what it is worth, from what I can see, you are doing an amazing job. Your daughter looks happy and loved." Isaac felt his irritation melt away. "Thanks, she is pretty much my whole world." "That is obvious," Jennifer said, "and I really am grateful for your help." "Is there nothing I can do to repay you?" Isaac started to refuse again, but Emma called out from the truck window. "Daddy, we are going to be late." He checked his watch and cursed under his breath. School started in 12 minutes, and it was a 10-minute drive in good traffic. "I really do have to go." "Of course," Jennifer said quickly. She dug in her purse and pulled out a business card. "Here, if you ever need anything, and I mean anything, please call me. I owe you one." Isaac took the card, noting the title printed beneath her name, Chief Executive Officer, Dawson Medical Solutions. He let out a low whistle. "You are the CEO?" "I am." "Well then." He tucked the card into his shirt pocket. "Guess I will know who to call if I ever need cloud-based healthcare solutions." Jennifer laughed, a genuine, warm sound. "Or if you ever need anything else. A job reference, business advice, someone to help you jump-start your car." She smiled. "Whatever you need." "I will keep that in mind." Isaac climbed back into his truck, giving her a final wave as he backed out of the parking space. In his rearview mirror, he watched her stand there for a moment, watching him drive away before she got into her Mercedes. "She was pretty, Daddy," Emma said from the back seat. "Was she?" "I did not notice," Isaac lied, pulling out onto the main road. "Yes, you did. You looked at her the way Prince Eric looks at Ariel." Isaac laughed despite himself. "How do you even know that? You have watched that movie way too many times." "It is a classic," Emma said matter-of-factly. "Are you going to see her again?" "Probably not, sweetheart. She lives in a very different world than we do, but she gave you her card, just to be polite." Emma was quiet for a moment, then said, "I think you should call her." "Oh, you do you?" "Yes." "She looked at you the same way Ariel looks at Eric." Isaac shook his head, smiling. "You are 7 years old. You should not be playing matchmaker." "I am almost 8, Emma corrected. "And Miss Rodriguez says we should always be kind and help people find happiness." Miss Rodriguez is talking about being nice to your classmates, not setting up your dad on dates. But you are always sad when you think I am not looking, Emma said quietly, and Isaac's heart clenched at the observation. I think you need someone to make you happy besides me. Isaac pulled into the school's drop-off line, putting the truck in park before turning to look at his daughter. You make me incredibly happy, Em. Do not ever think otherwise. I know, she said, unbuckling her seatbelt, but there is a different kind of happy. The kind Mom was supposed to give you but did not. Sometimes Isaac forgot how perceptive Emma was, how much she understood despite her age. You are too smart for your own good, you know that? Emma grinned, leaning forward to kiss his cheek. I get it from you. Love you, Daddy. Love you too, sweetheart. Have a great day at school. He watched her skip toward the building, her backpack bouncing against her shoulders, and thought about Jennifer Dawson standing in that parking lot, looking at him with those intelligent eyes. Emma was right that he had noticed she was pretty. More than pretty, actually. But Emma was also right that they lived in different worlds. Jennifer had a driver, wore designer suits, ran a company. Isaac lived paycheck to paycheck. His truck was held together with duct tape and prayers, and his idea of dressing up was wearing his least faded pair of jeans. Still, as he drove to the construction site where he was working on a new housing development, he found his hand drifting to his shirt pocket, feeling the outline of Jennifer's business card through the fabric. The construction site was in full swing when Isaac arrived, the sound of nail guns and saws filling the air. His crew leader, Marcus, waved him over immediately. You are late, Marcus said, but there was no real heat in his voice. Marcus was a good guy who understood that Isaac was doing his best as a single dad. Had to help someone with car trouble. Emma get to school okay? Yeah, just dropped her off. Isaac grabbed his tool belt from the truck. What are we working on today? Finishing the framing on units 12 through 16. We are behind schedule, and the boss is breathing down my neck. Isaac spent the next 8 hours hammering, measuring, and climbing up and down ladders. It was hard physical work, the kind that left his muscles aching and his hands rough, but he liked it. There was something satisfying about seeing a structure take shape, about knowing his labor was creating something solid and real. During his lunch break, he sat on a stack of lumber and pulled out the slightly squashed sandwich he had packed that morning. Peanut, butter, and jelly, because it was cheap and Emma liked it when they had matching lunches. His phone buzzed with a text from his sister, Lisa. Can you watch Jake this weekend? Emergency shift at the hospital. Lisa was a nurse and single mom to 5-year-old Jake. They helped each other out whenever they could, trading babysitting duties and occasionally scraping together enough money between them for things like school supplies or birthday presents. Sure, Emma will be excited, Isaac texted back. As he finished his sandwich, Isaac pulled Jennifer's business card from his pocket, studying it. The card's stock was heavy, expensive, with embossed lettering that caught the light. Her direct office number was printed at the bottom, along with a cell phone number written in pen. She had written her cell phone number on the card. That felt significant somehow. Isaac tucked the card back into his pocket and returned to work, but throughout the afternoon, he found himself thinking about Jennifer. The way she had laughed at herself for being useless with cars. The genuine appreciation in her eyes when he had helped her. The fact that she had not treated him like he was beneath her, even though she clearly had more money than he could imagine. When his shift ended at 4, Isaac was covered in sawdust and sweat. He stopped by his truck to grab his phone and found a voicemail from Emma's school. His heart jumped into his throat as he listened. Mr. Morrison, this is Principal Anderson. Emma is fine, but we need you to come pick her up. She is running a fever of 101 and complaining of a sore throat. Please come to the office when you arrive. Isaac called the school back immediately as he drove, letting them know he was on his way. 15 minutes later, he found Emma sitting in the nurse's office, looking miserable. Hey, sweetheart, he said, kneeling in front of her and pressing his hand to her forehead. She was definitely warm. Not feeling good, Emma shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. My throat hurts really bad, Daddy. Okay, let's get you home and into bed. Then I will run to the store and get you some medicine. The nurse handed him a slip of paper. Her temperature was 101.3 when we checked an hour ago. If it goes above 103 or she starts having trouble breathing, take her to the emergency room. Otherwise, fluids, rest, and children's fever reducer should help. Isaac helped Emma to the truck, buckling her carefully into her booster seat. She looked so small and pale, and his heart ached. This was the part of single parenting that terrified him, when Emma was sick, and he had to be the only one to take care of her, make decisions about her health, balance work and worry. At home, he got Emma settled on the couch with a blanket and her favorite stuffed elephant, then checked his wallet. $23. He had $23 to get Emma through until payday on Friday, 3 days away, and he needed to buy medicine and something easy for her to eat while she was sick. Isaac made Emma some toast and tea, which she barely touched, then checked his bank account on his phone. Still $43, with $200 in rent due in a week. He had been planning to ask Marcus about overtime, but now he would need to stay home with Emma until she was better. He was contemplating calling Lisa to ask if she could loan him $50 when his phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, is this Isaac Morrison? A woman's voice, professional but warm. Yes, this is Isaac. This is Jennifer Dawson. I hope I am not bothering you. I realized after you left this morning that I never properly thanked you, and I wanted to see if perhaps I could take you to dinner. My treat, obviously, as a thank you for helping me. Isaac looked at Emma on the couch, her cheeks flushed with fever, then at his nearly empty wallet on the kitchen counter. That is really nice of you, but I actually cannot. My daughter is sick and I need to stay with her. Oh no, I am so sorry. Is she okay? Fever and sore throat. She will be fine, just needs rest and medicine. Of course. Well, if there is anything I can do to help, please let me know. I mean that. Isaac hesitated. Pride warred with necessity, and necessity won. Actually, this is going to sound really forward, but would you be willing to loan me $100 until Friday? I get paid then, and I can pay you back immediately, but Emma's sick and I need to get her medicine, and I am a little short until payday. There was a pause on the other end of the line, and Isaac immediately regretted asking. Never mind, forget I said anything. That was inappropriate. No, Jennifer said quickly. I am just surprised you felt comfortable asking me. Most people would not. Desperate times, Isaac admitted. But seriously, forget it. I will figure something out. I will do better than loan you money, Jennifer said. Give me your address. I will bring over medicine and soup and whatever else you need. And before you argue, let me remind you that I owe you for this morning, and taking care of a sick child when you are on your own is incredibly hard. I know because my mom raised me by herself. Isaac gave her his address before he could overthink it, then spent the next 30 minutes frantically trying to make his small apartment look less embarrassing. He shoved laundry into the bedroom, did a quick wipe down of the kitchen counters, and picked up Emma's toys from the living room floor. Is the pretty lady coming over? Emma asked from the couch, her voice hoarse. How did you know? Because you are cleaning like Grandma is coming to visit. Isaac laughed despite his nervousness. You need to stop being so observant. That means smart, right? Very smart. 20 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. Isaac opened it to find Jennifer standing there in jeans and a sweater, her hair down around her shoulders, holding 2 large shopping bags. Hi, she said, smiling. I was not sure what kind of medicine you needed, so I got several options, plus soup, crackers, juice, popsicles, and some tea that is supposed to help with sore throats. Isaac stared at the bags. You did not have to do all this. I know, but I wanted to. Jennifer stepped inside, looking around the small apartment. If she was judging it, he could not tell. Where is the patient? Emma sat up on the couch, looking at Jennifer with wide eyes. You are even prettier without your work clothes. Jennifer laughed, setting the bags on the kitchen counter. Thank you, and you must be Emma. Your dad told me you were not feeling well. My throat hurts really bad. I am sorry, sweetheart. Jennifer pulled out a bottle of children's pain reliever. This should help with that and bring your fever down. And I brought popsicles, which also help sore throats and taste much better than medicine. Isaac found himself watching Jennifer move around his kitchen, putting the soup in the refrigerator, organizing the medicine on the counter, as though she belonged there. She was so different from how she had looked that morning, softer somehow, more approachable. You really did not have to do all this, he said again. Jennifer turned to him, her expression serious. You helped me this morning when you did not have to. You made yourself late taking your daughter to school, and you would not accept payment. Let me do this, please. It makes me feel like I am paying back the kindness. Okay, Isaac said quietly. Thank you. Jennifer gave Emma the medicine, then brought her a red popsicle, which Emma accepted gratefully. As Emma ate the popsicle, Jennifer and Isaac stood in the kitchen, an awkward but not unpleasant silence between them. So you said your mom raised you alone? Isaac asked. Jennifer nodded, leaning against the counter. My dad left when I was 4, never saw him again. Mom worked 3 jobs to put me through school, made sure I had every opportunity. She is the reason I am where I am today. That is amazing. She must be really proud of you. She was. She died 2 years ago. Cancer. Jennifer's voice was steady, but Isaac could hear the pain underneath. I wish she could have seen the company really take off. She believed in me when no one else did. I am sorry for your loss. Thank you. Jennifer looked at Emma, who was starting to nod off on the couch. You remind me of her, actually, the way you are with Emma. That complete devotion, that willingness to do whatever it takes. My mom was like that. Isaac felt his throat tighten. I just do my best. Your best is pretty great from what I can see. Jennifer checked her watch. I should probably go and let Emma rest, but I am serious about my offer for dinner when she is feeling better and you have time. No strings attached, just a thank you meal between friends. Friends? Isaac repeated. I would like to be, Jennifer said simply. I do not meet many genuine people in my line of work. Everyone wants something, has an agenda. You helped me this morning just because you are a good person. I would like to get to know you better. I would like that too, Isaac admitted. Jennifer smiled, pulling out her phone. Give me your number. I will text you so you have mine, and we can set something up when Emma is better. They exchanged numbers, and Isaac walked Jennifer to the door. She paused before leaving, turning back to him. You are doing an amazing job with your daughter, she said. Do not let anyone make you doubt that. After she left, Isaac returned to the couch where Emma was now fully asleep, her popsicle stick still in her hand. He gently removed it, covered her with a blanket, and sat on the floor beside her, his back against the couch. His phone buzzed with a text. It was really nice seeing you again. I hope Emma feels better soon. Isaac stared at the message for a long moment before typing back. Thank you for everything. You went above and beyond. You did that for me first. Sleep well, Isaac. He looked at Emma's sleeping face, then at the medicine and groceries Jennifer had brought, then at his phone. Maybe Emma was right. Maybe he should let himself be open to this, whatever this was becoming. Over the next 2 days, Isaac stayed home with Emma, nursing her through her illness. Jennifer texted him several times each day, checking on Emma's fever, asking if they needed anything, sending funny memes to cheer Emma up when she found out Emma liked cats. By Thursday evening, Emma's fever had broken and she was feeling much better, though still tired. Isaac was sitting on the couch with her, watching a movie when his phone rang. How is my favorite patient? Jennifer asked when he answered. Much better. Fever is gone. She ate actual food today instead of just popsicles. That is wonderful news. Does that mean you might be free for that dinner this weekend? Isaac hesitated. I am watching my nephew on Saturday, but I am free Friday night if you are. Friday works great. How do you feel about Italian food? I love Italian food, but I should probably mention that my budget is pretty limited. I cannot really do fancy restaurants. I am paying, remember? This is me thanking you. Jennifer, I cannot let you pay for an expensive dinner. That is too much. Then how about a compromise? I know a great little pizza place, family-owned, nothing fancy but the best pizza in Portland. Does that work? Isaac smiled. That actually sounds perfect. Great, I will pick you up at 7. Actually, would you mind if I drive? My truck is not much to look at, but I would feel weird about you driving. Jennifer laughed. Whatever makes you comfortable, I will text you the address. After he hung up, Emma looked at him with a knowing smile. You have a date. It is not a date, it is a thank you dinner. It is totally a date, Emma said. You need to wear your nice shirt. I am wearing a regular shirt. The blue one that makes your eyes look pretty. My eyes are not pretty, Em. Yes, they are. Miss Rodriguez says you have kind eyes. Isaac raised an eyebrow. Miss Rodriguez said that. Emma nodded enthusiastically. When I told her you helped that lady with her car, she said you have the kindest eyes she has ever seen. I think she likes you too. Okay, enough matchmaking from you, little miss. But secretly, Isaac was pleased. He had not been on a date, or whatever this was, in 3 years. The idea both terrified and excited him. Friday evening came faster than he expected. Lisa arrived at 6:30 to watch Emma, giving Isaac a thorough once-over. You look nice, she said. This is the CEO woman Emma told me about. Her name is Jennifer, and yes, and this is definitely a date. It is a thank you dinner. Lisa rolled her eyes. You are going out with a woman alone to eat food and talk. That is a date. We are just friends. Sure you are. Well, have fun on your not date. Emma and I are going to braid hair and watch princess movies. Can we make cookies too? Emma asked. If your dad says it is okay. Isaac kissed Emma's forehead. You can make cookies, but not too much sugar, and bed by 9. 9:30, Emma negotiated. 9:15, and that is my final offer. Deal. Isaac drove to the address Jennifer had sent, finding a small pizza restaurant tucked into a corner of a strip mall. It did not look like much from the outside, but through the windows, he could see red checkered tablecloths and walls covered with photos of Italy. Jennifer was waiting outside, and Isaac's breath caught when he saw her. She wore a simple black dress and a leather jacket, her hair in loose waves around her shoulders. She was beautiful in a way that made his heart race. Hi, she said, smiling as he approached. Hi yourself, you look amazing. Thank you, so do you, she gestured to the restaurant. This place does not look like much, but trust me, it is incredible. The family that owns it has been making pizza the same way for 4 generations. Inside, the smell of baking bread and tomato sauce filled the air. An older Italian woman greeted Jennifer with a hug and a rapid stream of Italian, to which Jennifer responded in kind. You speak Italian? Isaac asked as they were led to a corner table. My mom was Italian. She made sure I learned the language. Jennifer sat down, accepting a menu from the owner. Maria here is the grandmother of my college roommate. I have been coming here since I was 18. They ordered a large pizza to share, half pepperoni and half margarita, and Jennifer insisted on getting an appetizer of fried mozzarella. As they waited for the food, Isaac found himself relaxing, the initial awkwardness fading. So tell me about Emma, Jennifer said. She seems like an amazing kid. Isaac smiled, the way he always did when people asked about his daughter. She is the best thing that ever happened to me. Smart, funny, kind, sometimes too observant for her own good. What happened with her mother, if you do not mind me asking? Isaac took a sip of his water, considering how much to share. We got married young, right after high school, had Emma a year later. Her mom, Rachel, she was not ready to be a parent. Hell, neither was I, but I wanted to try. She left when Emma was 18 months old, said she could not do it anymore. I have not heard from her since, and neither has Emma. I am so sorry, Jennifer said softly. That must have been incredibly hard. The hardest part was explaining to Emma as she got older why her mom was not around. How do you tell a kid that her mother chose to leave? You tell her the truth, in an age-appropriate way, and you love her enough for two parents, Jennifer said. Which is exactly what you are doing. Their pizza arrived, and for a while they just ate and talked about lighter things. Jennifer told him about growing up in Portland, about starting her company in her garage 7 years ago with nothing but a laptop and a dream. Isaac told her about learning carpentry from his grandfather, about how building things with his hands made him feel connected to something bigger than himself. I wanted to go to college, Isaac admitted. But then Rachel got pregnant, and I needed to work. No regrets, though. Emma is worth everything. Do you think you will ever go back? Get a degree? Isaac shrugged. Maybe someday when Emma is older and I have saved up enough. I would like to get into construction management, run my own crews, but that is a long way off. Why? Jennifer asked. Why does it have to be a long way off? Because school costs money, because I barely make rent most months, because I have a daughter to support and I cannot risk our stability on a maybe. Jennifer was quiet for a moment, then said, What if it was not a maybe? What if you had the resources to make it happen? Isaac put down his pizza slice, suddenly wary. What are you saying? I am saying that I have resources, and I believe in investing in good people. What if I helped you pay for school? You could study part-time, keep working, and no, Isaac said firmly. Absolutely not. Why not? Because I do not take charity, especially not from someone I barely know. Jennifer's eyes flashed. It would not be charity, it would be an investment. You are clearly intelligent and hardworking, and you have ambitions beyond your current situation. I help people get where they want to go. It is actually part of what my company does, offering scholarships and training programs. For your employees, not for random guys you met in a parking lot. You are not a random guy. You are someone who helped me when you did not have to, someone who is clearly trying his best in difficult circumstances. Why is it so hard for you to accept help? Isaac pushed back from the table, his jaw tight. Because I have spent my entire adult life taking care of myself and my daughter. Because accepting help means admitting I cannot do it on my own. Because I do not want to owe anyone anything. You would not owe me anything, Jennifer insisted. And asking for help is not weakness, Isaac. It is smart. It is being willing to accept opportunities when they come along. Is that what this is? Isaac asked, his voice harder than he intended. An opportunity, or is this you feeling sorry for the poor single dad and trying to fix him? Jennifer's expression shuddered. That is not fair. Is it not? Isaac stood up, pulling his wallet from his pocket. I knew this was a mistake. We are from different worlds, Jennifer. You cannot just swoop into mine with your money and your resources and expect to fix everything. I am not trying to fix you, Jennifer said, her voice rising slightly. Several nearby diners glanced over. I am trying to help you. There is a difference. The problem is you do not see that I do not need your help. I am doing fine. Are you? Jennifer challenged. You have $43 in your bank account. You had to ask me for a loan to buy your sick daughter medicine. You are barely making rent. That is not fine, Isaac. That is struggling, and there is no shame in that, but there is also no shame in accepting help to get out of it. Isaac threw $40 on the table. That is for my half of the meal. Thank you for dinner, but I think we are done here. He walked out of the restaurant, his heart pounding, anger and embarrassment and hurt all swirling together in his chest. Behind him, he heard Jennifer call his name, but he did not stop until he reached his truck. She caught up to him in the parking lot. Isaac, please wait. Why? So you can remind me what a charity case I am? I never said that. Jennifer's eyes were bright with unshed tears. I never even thought that. I think you are amazing, and I just wanted to help because I care about you. You barely know me. I know enough, Jennifer said quietly. I know you are kind and hardworking and devoted to your daughter. I know you helped me without expecting anything in return. I know that when I am with you, I feel more like myself than I have in years. And yes, I know you are struggling financially, but that does not define you. Isaac leaned against his truck, the fight draining out of him. I am sorry. I should not have reacted like that. No, I am sorry. I came on too strong. It is a bad habit of mine, trying to solve problems with money. Jennifer wiped at her eyes. My mom always struggled financially, and I swore when I made it that I would help people the way I wished someone had helped her. But I forget that not everyone wants that help, especially not from someone they barely know. They stood in silence for a moment, and then Isaac said, "I do like you. A lot, actually. That is part of why I reacted so strongly. Because the idea that you might be with me out of pity, that terrifies me." "I am not interested in you out of pity," Jennifer said. "I am interested in you because you are genuine and kind and you make me laugh. Because when you helped me in that parking lot, you did not see my car or my job title, you just saw someone who needed help. Because when you talk about Emma, your whole face lights up in this way that makes me want to be part of that light." Isaac's breath caught. "Really? Really?" Jennifer stepped closer. "But I understand if my offer offended you, I will not bring it up again." "Maybe we can talk about it later," Isaac said slowly, "when I have had time to think about it without my pride getting in the way. But for now, can we just start over? Forget the awkward money conversation and just be two people who like each other." Jennifer smiled, and it was like the sun coming out. "I would really like that." Isaac opened his arms and Jennifer stepped into them, and hugging her felt like the most natural thing in the world. She fit against him perfectly, her head tucked under his chin, her arms wrapped around his waist. "I am sorry I ruined dinner," Isaac murmured into her hair. "You did not ruin it. We just had our first fight. That is actually a good sign, you know. It means we are honest with each other." "Is that what this is?" Isaac asked, pulling back to look at her. "Are we together?" "I would like to be, if you want that too." "I do," Isaac said, "but you need to know that things are complicated with me. I have a daughter who comes first, always. I have a crazy schedule and very little money, and an ex-wife who might show up someday wanting to be part of Emma's life. My life is not easy or simple." "I do not need easy or simple," Jennifer said. "I need real, and you are the most real person I have met in a very long time." Isaac kissed her then, soft and gentle, and Jennifer kissed him back with a sweetness that made his heart ache. When they pulled apart, both of them were smiling. "We should probably go back inside and actually finish our pizza," Jennifer said. "Maria is going to think we are crazy, making a scene and then making out in her parking lot." They went back inside, both apologizing to Maria, who waved them off and brought them a new pizza, fresh from the oven, on the house. They ate and talked and laughed, and by the time they left the restaurant 3 hours later, Isaac felt like he was walking on air. He drove Jennifer back to her place, a sleek condo building downtown that probably cost more than he would make in 10 years. At the door, he kissed her goodnight, long and slow. "I had a really good time tonight," Jennifer said. "Even with the fight, me too. Can I see you again soon?" "I would love that. Maybe you could bring Emma next time. I would like to get to know her better." Isaac smiled. "She would like that." "She is already planning our wedding, by the way," Jennifer laughed. "Is she? Well, we should probably go on more than one date first." "Probably," Isaac agreed. "But for what it is worth, I really like you, Jennifer Dawson." "I really like you too, Isaac Morrison." Isaac drove home feeling happier than he had in years, and when he got back to his apartment, he found Lisa and Emma passed out on the couch, surrounded by cookie crumbs and half-finished princess movies. He gently shook Lisa awake. "Hey, thanks for watching her." Lisa blinked sleepily. "How did it go?" "Really good. We kind of had a fight, but we worked through it." "A fight on the first date? That is either a really bad sign or a really good one." "Good one, I think. We were honest with each other." Lisa smiled. "Good, you deserve someone who makes you happy, Isaac. Just do not move too fast, okay? Think about Emma." "I am always thinking about Emma," Isaac said, "but I think I can do this. I think I can let myself be happy again." After Lisa left, Isaac carried Emma to her bed, tucking her in carefully. She stirred as he kissed her forehead. "Did you have fun with Jennifer?" she mumbled sleepily. "I did, sweetheart." "Good, I like her. She has nice eyes, too." Isaac smiled in the darkness. "Go to sleep, Em." Over the next few weeks, Isaac and Jennifer fell into a pattern. They saw each other twice a week, sometimes with Emma and sometimes without. Jennifer came to Emma's soccer game and cheered louder than any of the other parents. Isaac met Jennifer's best friend, Sarah, who grilled him thoroughly before declaring him acceptable. They went to movies, took walks along the waterfront, cooked dinner together at Isaac's apartment. It was not always easy. There were times when Isaac's work schedule conflicted with their plans, when Jennifer had late meetings that cut their evenings short. There was the moment when Emma asked if Jennifer was going to be her new mom, and Isaac had to gently explain that they were taking things slowly. There was the awkwardness of navigating physical intimacy when Jennifer's bedroom was the size of Isaac's entire apartment. But through it all, they were honest with each other. When Isaac felt insecure about the money difference, he told Jennifer. When Jennifer worried she was overstepping with Emma, she asked Isaac. They talked things through, compromised, and learned each other's rhythms. 6 weeks into their relationship, Jennifer invited Isaac and Emma to Thanksgiving dinner at her place. Isaac arrived with a grocery store pumpkin pie, feeling underdressed, despite wearing his nicest shirt. Jennifer answered the door in jeans and a sweater, immediately pulling him into a kiss. "You brought pie. You did not have to do that. Could not show up empty-handed." Emma ran past them into the condo, immediately gravitating to the massive windows overlooking the city. "Jennifer, you can see everything from here? I know, it is pretty cool, right? Come help me in the kitchen. I need an assistant chef." Isaac watched Jennifer and Emma work together making mashed potatoes, their heads bent close together as Jennifer showed Emma how to use the masher. Something in his chest tightened with emotion. This was what he had wanted for Emma, what he had thought she might never have. A woman who cared about her, who took time with her, who made her laugh. During dinner, Emma told Jennifer all about the upcoming school play in which she was playing a talking tree. Jennifer listened with genuine interest, asking questions and offering to help with her costume. Isaac sat back and watched them interact, feeling grateful and terrified in equal measure. After dinner, while Emma was occupied with a puzzle Jennifer had bought specifically for her, Jennifer and Isaac cleaned up the kitchen together. "Thank you for today," Isaac said. "This meant a lot to Emma, to both of us. I was happy to do it. I love spending time with you two." Jennifer dried a dish, then set it aside. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course. Do you ever think about the future, about us?" Isaac was quiet for a moment. "All the time, actually. And what do you think?" "I think that I am falling in love with you," Isaac admitted. "And that scares me because I have Emma to think about, and I cannot just follow my heart without considering what is best for her." Jennifer set down the dish towel and took Isaac's hands. What if what is best for her is seeing her dad happy? What if what is best for all of us is taking a chance on this? "What are you saying?" "I am saying that I am falling in love with you too. With both of you, actually. Emma is an amazing kid, and spending time with her does not feel like an obligation, it feels like a privilege." Jennifer squeezed his hands. "I know we have not been together that long, but when you know, and I know that I want to build a life with you." Isaac pulled her close, resting his forehead against hers. "I want that too, so much." They kissed slow and deep, and when they pulled apart, Emma was standing in the doorway, grinning. "I knew it," she said. "You are in love," Jennifer laughed. "How long have you been standing there? Long enough. Can I be the flower girl at the wedding?" "We are not getting married yet," Isaac said, but he was smiling. "But yes, when we do, you will definitely be the flower girl. Good. I already have ideas about my dress." That night, as Isaac drove Emma home, she was quiet for a long time before saying, "Daddy, is Jennifer going to live with us?" "Eventually, maybe. Would that be okay with you?" Emma nodded enthusiastically. "I think it would be really nice. She is kind and she listens when I talk, and she does not treat me like a baby. Those are all very good reasons to like someone. Plus, she makes you smile the way you used to before Mom left." Isaac glanced at his daughter in the rearview mirror. "You remember that?" "Not really. But I have seen pictures and you look different now, happier." "I am happier, sweetheart. Jennifer makes me very happy, but you know that you are still the most important person in my life, right? That will never change. I know, Daddy, but I think there is room for Jennifer too. Our family can get bigger. Isaac felt tears sting his eyes. When did you get so wise? I have always been wise. You just did not notice because you were too busy being sad. Over the next few months, Isaac and Jennifer's relationship deepened. Jennifer started staying over at Isaac's apartment a few nights a week, and Emma grew used to waking up to find Jennifer making breakfast. Isaac met Jennifer's extended family at Christmas, where her aunts and uncles immediately adopted him and Emma into their loud, loving chaos. In January, Jennifer brought up the subject of school again, but this time Isaac was ready to listen. She had researched part-time programs at the local community college, figured out a schedule that would work around his job and Emma's needs, and even found scholarship opportunities he qualified for. You really looked into all this, Isaac said, paging through the folder of information she had compiled. I did. Because I believe in you and I want to help you achieve your dreams. But this time I am asking, not telling, is this something you want? Because if it is not, that is completely okay. Isaac thought about it, really thought about it. He thought about the future he could build with an education, the opportunities that would open up, the financial stability he could provide for Emma. He thought about how Jennifer had presented this not as charity, but as a partnership, as her investing in their future together. Yes, he said finally. Yes, I want this, but I want to pay back every penny you invest in me. We can figure out the details later, Jennifer said. Right now, I just want you to know that I am here and I support you, whatever you decide. Isaac enrolled in classes for the spring semester, starting with night courses in business management and construction technology. It was hard, balancing work and school and being a dad and maintaining his relationship with Jennifer, but he managed. Some nights he fell asleep at the kitchen table, his textbooks spread around him, only to wake up covered with a blanket Jennifer had tucked around him. In March, Jennifer asked Isaac and Emma to move in with her. They were at the park, watching Emma play on the swings when she brought it up. My place is bigger, and it would be easier for you to study without the noise from your neighbors. Plus, Emma would have her own room instead of sharing space with your bedroom. Jennifer held his hand, her thumb rubbing circles on his palm. I know it is a big step, but I think we are ready. Isaac watched Emma swing higher and higher, her laughter carrying on the wind. I think we are too. But I need to talk to Emma first, make sure she is comfortable with it. That night, Isaac sat Emma down for a serious conversation. She listened carefully as he explained that Jennifer had asked them to move in, that it would mean a new school and a new neighborhood, that their lives would change significantly. But would we all be together? Emma asked. You and me and Jennifer? Yes, we would all be together. Then I want to do it. I like Jennifer's place. It is big and has lots of windows, and I can have my own room. Emma paused. Will Jennifer be my mom then? Isaac chose his words carefully. Jennifer will be someone who loves you and takes care of you like a mom does. But we have not talked about getting married yet, and that is something that would need to happen first before she would officially be your stepmom. Are you going to marry her? I think so, eventually. How would you feel about that? Emma threw her arms around his neck. I would love it. I really want Jennifer to be part of our family forever. They moved in with Jennifer in April, and the transition was easier than Isaac expected. Emma loved having her own room, which Jennifer had let her help decorate. Isaac set up a study space in Jennifer's office, where he could work on his coursework without disturbing anyone. They fell into new routines. Jennifer walking Emma to her new school in the mornings, Isaac picking her up in the afternoons, all of them cooking dinner together in the evenings. It felt like a real family, like the life Isaac had always dreamed of but never thought he could have. In May, Isaac finished his first semester with straight A's. Jennifer threw him a surprise party, inviting his sister, his work friends, and some of his classmates. As he stood in Jennifer's living room, surrounded by people who cared about him, Emma hugging his waist and Jennifer beaming at him with pride. Isaac felt overwhelmed with gratitude. Later that night, after everyone had gone home and Emma was asleep, Isaac and Jennifer sat on the balcony, looking out at the city lights. "Thank you," Isaac said, "for everything, for believing in me, for loving Emma, for making us part of your life." "You do not have to thank me," Jennifer said. "This is what you do when you love someone. You support them, you believe in them, you build a life together." Isaac pulled the small box from his pocket, his heart pounding. He had been carrying it for weeks, waiting for the right moment, and suddenly he knew this was it. "Jennifer Dawson, 6 months ago you had a dead battery in a grocery store parking lot, and I had no idea that helping you would change my life. You have given me so much. Love, support, a future I never thought possible. You have loved my daughter like she was your own, and you have made me believe in myself again." He opened the box, revealing a simple diamond ring. "Will you marry me?" Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. "Yes, yes, absolutely yes." Isaac slipped the ring onto her finger, and she kissed him with a passion that made his head spin. When they pulled apart, they were both crying and laughing. "I love you so much," Jennifer whispered. "You and Emma both. We love you too," they told Emma the next morning at breakfast. She screamed with excitement and immediately started planning the wedding, insisting on a purple theme because it was both her and Jennifer's favorite color. The wedding took place in September, a small ceremony in Jennifer's aunt's garden with close family and friends. Emma was indeed the flower girl, wearing a purple dress that she had picked out herself and carrying a basket of roses. Lisa was Isaac's best person, and Sarah stood up for Jennifer. As Isaac watched Jennifer walk down the makeshift aisle, beautiful in a simple white dress, he thought about how much his life had changed in just over a year. He had gone from struggling to make rent, from being alone and overwhelmed to this. A wife who loved him, a daughter who was thriving, a future that was bright and full of possibility. They exchanged vows they had written themselves. Jennifer promised to love Emma as her own, to support Isaac's dreams, to build a family based on trust and honesty. Isaac promised to love Jennifer with everything he had, to never take her support for granted, to be her partner in all things. When the officiant pronounced them married, Emma cheered louder than anyone, and their guests laughed with joy. The reception was casual and fun, with good food and dancing and toasts that made them both cry. Emma gave a speech about how happy she was that Jennifer was officially her mom now, which had everyone reaching for tissues. Lisa toasted Isaac, saying she had never seen him happier. Sarah toasted Jennifer, saying she had found someone who truly deserved her. As they danced their first dance as a married couple, Jennifer whispered, "This is everything I never knew I wanted." "Same," Isaac whispered back. "You changed my life, Jennifer Morrison." "Jennifer Morrison," she repeated, trying out her new name. "I like the sound of that." They honeymooned for a long weekend at the coast, bringing Emma with them because neither of them wanted to be away from her. They built sandcastles and collected shells and ate ice cream until their stomachs hurt. It was perfect. Life settled into a new normal. Isaac continued his classes, making progress toward his degree. Jennifer's company continued to grow, and she promoted several key employees so she could have more time at home with her family. Emma thrived in her new school, making friends and excelling in her classes. 2 years after their wedding, Isaac graduated with his associate degree in construction management. Jennifer and Emma sat in the front row at his graduation, cheering wildly when his name was called. He had already lined up a promotion at work, moving into a supervisory role with better pay and more reasonable hours. A few months later, Jennifer came home from a doctor's appointment with news that made Isaac's heart stop. "I am pregnant," she said, her eyes bright with tears. "We are having a baby." Isaac picked her up and spun her around, both of them laughing and crying. Emma, now 10 years old, was beside herself with excitement at the prospect of being a big sister. "Can we name her Elsa?" Emma asked. "What if it is a boy?" Isaac countered. Then we name him Kristoff, obviously. They did not name the baby Elsa or Kristoff. They named her Grace after Jennifer's mother, and when she was born on a snowy January morning, Emma held her little sister with such gentle care that Isaac cried. "She is so tiny," Emma whispered. "I am going to teach her everything I know." "She is lucky to have you as a big sister," Jennifer said. Isaac looked at his family, his wife and his 2 daughters, and felt complete in a way he never had before. This life, this perfect, messy, wonderful life, had started with a dead battery in a parking lot. It had started with a simple act of kindness, with choosing to help someone even when it was inconvenient. 2 years after Grace was born, Isaac opened his own construction company. Jennifer helped with the business side, while Isaac managed the crews and the builds. They started small, just Isaac and a couple of employees, but word spread about their quality work and fair prices, and soon they were booking months in advance. Emma, now in middle school, was already talking about becoming a doctor. She volunteered at the hospital where Lisa worked, following the nurses around and asking endless questions. Grace was a tiny terror, getting into everything and keeping them all on their toes. On their 5th wedding anniversary, Isaac and Jennifer went back to the grocery store parking lot where they had first met. They stood in the same spot where Jennifer's Mercedes had broken down, holding hands. "I was so frustrated that morning," Jennifer said. "I had a huge meeting and my car died and everything felt like it was going wrong. I was down to my last $40 and running late taking Emma to school," Isaac added. "I almost did not stop." "I am so glad you did. Me too." Isaac kissed her, sweet and lingering. "You were the best thing that ever happened to me." "We were the best thing that happened to each other," Jennifer corrected. "You gave me a family, Isaac. You gave me purpose beyond my job. You showed me what really matters." They drove home to their life, to their daughters and their dog that Grace had begged for, to the house they had bought together in a neighborhood with good schools and friendly neighbors. It was not a fancy life, though they were comfortable now. It was not perfect, though it was pretty close. It was real and honest and full of love, and that was more than enough. That evening, as they sat around the dinner table, Grace chattering about her day at preschool and Emma explaining some complicated science experiment she was working on, Isaac caught Jennifer's eye across the table. She smiled at him, that same warm smile she had given him in the parking lot so many years ago when he had stopped to help her. He smiled back, squeezing her hand under the table, grateful for dead batteries and good timing and the choice to help someone even when it was inconvenient. He was grateful for every moment that had led him to this life, to this family, to this love. Later, after the girls were in bed, Isaac and Jennifer sat on their back porch, watching the stars come out. Grace's toys were scattered across the yard, and they could hear Emma's music drifting from her bedroom window. "Do you ever think about how different our lives would be if we had never met?" Jennifer asked, her head resting on Isaac's shoulder. "All the time," Isaac admitted. "I would probably still be living in that tiny apartment, working the same job, struggling to make ends meet. And I would probably still be working 80-hour weeks, thinking my company was the only thing that mattered." Jennifer laced her fingers through his. "I thought I had everything figured out before I met you. I thought success was all about money and achievement. And now I know that success is this, coming home to people you love, watching your daughters grow, building a life with someone who makes you better." She turned to look at him. "You made me better, Isaac. You made me believe in myself," Isaac replied. "You saw potential in me that I did not even know was there." They sat in comfortable silence, and Isaac thought about the journey that had brought them here. It had not always been easy. There had been arguments and challenges, moments of doubt and fear. When Emma struggled with the transition to a new school, when Grace was born premature and spent weeks in the NICU, when Isaac's business had a rough first year, when Jennifer's company faced a hostile takeover attempt. But they had faced it all together, as partners, as a team. They had learned that love was not just about the good times, but about standing beside each other during the hard times too. "I have been thinking," Jennifer said, breaking the silence. About expanding the house. Oh, yeah. What did you have in mind? Maybe another bedroom or two? Isaac pulled back to look at her, his heart skipping. Are you saying what I think you are saying? Jennifer smiled, that mischievous smile he loved. I am not pregnant, if that is what you are asking. But I have been thinking about adoption. There are so many kids who need good homes, and we have so much love to give. Isaac felt his throat tighten with emotion. You would want to do that. I would love to do that. If you want to, no pressure, just something to think about. Isaac pulled her close, kissing her forehead. Let me think about it and talk to the girls, but I love you for even suggesting it. Over the next few months, they explored the idea, talking to adoption agencies, discussing it with Emma and Grace, considering what it would mean for their family. Emma was immediately enthusiastic, already imagining teaching an older sibling all her favorite things. Grace was less clear on the concept, but liked the idea of having someone new to play with. In the end, they decided to move forward with foster to adopt, opening their home to children who needed temporary or permanent placement. Their first placement was a 6-year-old boy named Marcus, who had been in the system for 3 years after his parents lost custody due to drug addiction. Marcus was quiet and wary at first, clearly expecting to be disappointed or sent away. But Emma immediately took him under her wing, showing him around the house and introducing him to all her favorite books. Grace followed him everywhere, chattering nonstop, slowly drawing him out of his shell. Jennifer was patient and kind, never pushing but always there when he needed her. Isaac saw himself in Marcus, saw the same fear and uncertainty he had felt so many times in his life. He made it his mission to show Marcus what a good father looked like, to be consistent and present and loving. 6 months later, Marcus smiled for the first time, a real, genuine smile, when Isaac taught him how to use a hammer properly. 8 months after that, when the adoption was finalized and Marcus officially became part of their family, he called Isaac Dad for the first time. Isaac had to leave the courtroom to compose himself, overwhelmed with emotion. Jennifer found him in the hallway, wrapping her arms around him. You okay? She asked. I just gave that kid what I always wanted, Isaac said through his tears. A father who shows up, who stays, who loves him no matter what. You did, Jennifer agreed. You are an amazing father, Isaac, to all 3 of our kids. Their family continued to grow over the years. They fostered several more children, some for short periods and some who stayed permanently. Emma went off to college to study medicine, coming home on weekends to visit and help with the younger kids. Grace followed in her footsteps, becoming a natural caretaker for the foster siblings who came through their home. Marcus, now a teenager, was thriving. He was on the school basketball team, had a solid group of friends, and was already talking about following Isaac into construction. He and Isaac spent hours together in the garage, building furniture and fixing things, talking about life and dreams and the future. On their 10th wedding anniversary, Isaac and Jennifer renewed their vows in the same garden where they had gotten married. Their children stood with them, along with Lisa and Sarah, and all the friends and family who had supported them through the years. 10 years ago, I married my best friend, Isaac said during his vows. The woman who saw something in me I did not see in myself, who loved my daughter as her own, who built a life with me that exceeded my wildest dreams. Jennifer, you are my partner, my love, my everything. Here is to another 10 years, and another after that, and another after that. Jennifer was crying as she recited her own vows. Isaac, you taught me what really matters in life. You showed me that success is not measured in profit margins or company valuations, but in love and family and making a difference in the world. You have given me 3 beautiful children and a life full of meaning. I love you more today than I did 10 years ago, and I will love you more tomorrow than I do today. They kissed as their children cheered, and Isaac felt the same rush of joy and gratitude he had felt on their wedding day. This life they had built, this family they had created, was everything he had never dared to hope for. That night, as they lay in bed, Jennifer's head on his chest and his arm around her shoulders, Isaac thought about the man he had been 10 years ago. Struggling, alone, barely making it from one day to the next. He thought about standing in that parking lot with jumper cables, making the choice to help someone even though it made him late. That one choice, that one moment of kindness, had changed everything. "What are you thinking about?" Jennifer asked sleepily, "Just about how lucky I am, how grateful." "I am the lucky one," Jennifer murmured. "I got a dead battery and a whole family out of it." Isaac laughed softly. "Best dead battery ever." "Best dead battery ever," Jennifer agreed. They fell asleep like that, wrapped around each other, while down the hall their children slept safely in their beds. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new joys, new adventures. But whatever came, they would face it together, as they had faced everything for the past 10 years, as a family. As partners. As two people who had found each other in a grocery store parking lot and chosen, every day since, to keep finding each other over and over again. And that, Isaac thought as he drifted off to sleep, was the greatest love story of all. Not the fairy tale beginning, but the choice to keep showing up, keep trying, keep loving, day after day after day. The choice to build something real and lasting and true. The choice to help someone jump-start their car, not knowing that in doing so, he was jump-starting his own life, his own future, his own heart. It was perfect. It was real. It was theirs, and it was more than enough.